Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome our Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, Dr. Ashwath Narayan. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and esteemed guest of honor. We welcome you to the launch ceremony of IPC Health. We're extremely honored to have you witness our effort to improve healthcare in India while disrupting technology. As we celebrate the 71st year of India's Republic, it's but imperative that we celebrate it with what the World Health Organization, that is the WHO, is celebrating this year as the year 2020 as the year of nurse. That is in the celebration of the 200th year of Florence Nightingale. Without much delay, ladies and gentlemen, now I would request our Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, C.N. Ashwath Narayan, to please come on stage along with Sister Lissy John from MS Ramaya Hospital. Sir, request to please come on stage for the light lamping ceremony. Joining him on stage would be Sister Lissy John from MS Ramaya Medical College Hospital. Phil Smither, Global Sales and Marketing Director at RCNI, a subsidiary of Royal College of Nursing UK. Dr. M.A. Sharif. Our CEO and founder, Samir Sharif of Impelsys. Dr. Narendra Shetty, please come on stage. Request all our dignitaries and the chief guest to do the lime planting ceremony, please. Request Farad also to please join us on stage. would request all our dignitaries to please pose for a photo op. Thank you. Now I would like to invite our Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, Dr. Ashwath Narayan, to kindly address the audience, please. Sir, please.
Namaskara. Good morning. Since today we are inaugurating the IPC Health, launching of the IPC Health, it's, as all of you are aware, since it's got all to do with the getting technology into the healthcare. Through the technology, training and learning has been effectively addressed. On this occasion, I recognize the contribution of our founder, Samir Sharif's, the visionary, who has taken all the pains and interest to start this IPC. I congratulate on behalf of all the government and the society for doing an excellent job and excellent work, and which is the need of the hour. It is very much essential and required, particularly in healthcare, since, as all of you are aware, once we get off the institution and formal education, very few people tend to continue the learning process. And since that is not in a habit among many of our professionals, upskilling, reskilling, de-learning, relearning, these are the most important areas which the entire country has been looking up. And it's been, working towards in this direction. Whoever has adapted this concept have seen very good and extreme good results has been given to their society and to the humanity. On the similar lines, understanding fully the challenges of the health industry, Samir Sharif, along with his team, has come out with an excellent solution. Now it's our duty how best we make use of it. See, product is ready, and how best we adapt. Most of the time we look into even a smallest cost also. We don't want to spend anything, we want to get everything. And we don't want to spend some time, and we talk about quality. See, for everything we need to dedicate, we need to pursue, because one thing is constant, pursuit of excellence. And the life will be, moreover, we might think we are doing something for other people. We are providing quality health care, improving the service and system. But even for our life and our life, to have a meaningful life, unless we start doing something better, good, unless we don't feel good about our own work, there's no purpose in life to continue living. There's no purpose, no meaning in living. Every day, we need to make sure that we improve ourselves, and it should become more meaningful. Without a meaningful life, there's no point in living on this earth. That's what I feel. That's what I've been seeing in most of the places wherever I visited some of the best institutions. Their pursuit for excellence, their pursuit for improvising and for learning is what is making them moving, and that's what has continued their interest and their purpose. If there's no purpose, no direction, we don't see anything, concrete or motivation or inspiration for any one of them. Probably there's all this solution and a platform which has been developed. Particularly, we have been seeing a lot of challenges in the quality of the services in particularly health industry. Health industry, because it's all due to, we have got to do with the human beings, and it's the pain and suffering, keeping them in a happy and a better comfort level, better treatment. It's most important thing. For that to be addressed, I think probably IPC has come out with a very good, excellent solution and a platform where we can address most of this concern. And moreover, I heard that Ramaya Medical College, Ramaya Hospital has adopted this and given the IPC Health an opportunity to make a beginning. I think that's an excellent thing. Most important is giving an opportunity, because most of the time we don't get an opportunity to make a beginning. If there's no beginning, we can't get into the market. So the need and necessity are completely understood, and I've been seeing as a medical education minister and as a citizen and a professional, there have been a lot of challenges. We spend a lot of money on building, we spend a lot of money on equipment, spend everything on, but when it comes to the training, we don't spend money. That's where very important area we need to keep addressing, and we need to evaluate. We should know where we stand. Unless the realization is not there, we can't improve. So without taking much of time, I congratulate Samir and his family and his entire all colleagues who are responsible for this, and I'll extend all my cooperation, whatever I can do for you. I'm willing to extend my fullest cooperation, and I wish you all the best. In many of the medical colleges, there are skill labs. There are many skill labs, but different way. Probably Enopaya Medical College has established a very good skill lab. They've established a very excellent skill lab. Probably on those lines you can look up. Every medical college is in the, already some of the medical colleges have started implementing the skill labs in their respective medical colleges. There's a vast opportunity, big money involved in it, very big money. Now at present they have been charging very big money for all this skilling. Yours is very reasonable. Probably I feel that's a very reasonably you have kept your prices. So at present what they have been charging is more than 15,000 rupees in each medical college. Farad might be knowing, no? Some of our colleges, they've been paying very big money. I think it should be not more than 1,000 rupees or 500 rupees. If you look at the volume and numbers in our country, the kind of business opportunities, plenty of, it is same thing, duplicating or replicating in other places. It's one place, if you're able to do it, you can replicate in many places. That's possible. You can take up that you can start working. If you have got good proposal, you can come immediately. We'll see how best we can accommodate in our medical colleges. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would request you to kindly be on stage, sir. I would request our CEO, Samir Sharif, to please give a token of our appreciation and gratitude. I would also request the event team to please take the lamp from the stage. And ladies and gentlemen, we also have the official launch of IPC Health now from our CEO, Samir Sharif, and Dr. Ashwath Narayan once again. So ladies and gentlemen, the official launch of IPC Health. So may I request you to press the buzzer now.
work round the clock to serve patients. Being at the center of the action, hospital physicians and staff must confront every situation and every challenge. They must also keep up with evolving health needs, policies, technology, and knowledge through ongoing comprehensive training programs. But most healthcare professionals, upon entering practice, experience increased demands that seldom give them time to learn about the latest developments in healthcare. As for the senior hospital staff, every day brings in a new set of challenges, from managing trainings and inductions to tackling low compliance and growing staff turnover. What they need is a promising solution to ensure a continuous learning journey.
In today's world, technology is transforming life. Be it taxis, food delivery, everything we need is at our fingertips. Education is also going through a transformation, and we are at the forefront in the healthcare industry with IPC Health.
IPC Health is a comprehensive learning, training, and skill development platform developed by Impelsys in India for healthcare professionals to attain the right mix of content, learning, and skills that help them throughout their career. The platform offers a wide variety of courses that enable hospitals to meet their employee training and development needs in areas of quality compliance, soft skills, and induction. Its superior courseware helps hospitals to build reliable teams that deliver quality patient care. And thanks to the highly engaging, media-rich content, the learner can effortlessly comprehend and relate to every subject. The platform is designed in a way that it enables easy tracking of the real-time status of their learning progress, thus establishing a solid and robust system to nurture, encourage, train, and uplift their morale. What's unique about this platform is that it's accessible anytime, anywhere, ensuring quality learning literally at your fingertips. Hospitals can now assign courses and track the competencies of users on specific topics with IPC's Intelligent Assessment Tool, which gives them better administrative control. With convenient workflows, the platform ensures exceptional user management. Today, IPC Health is all set to extend its offerings to include continuous education modules that will help in improving healthcare outcomes and bridge skill gaps at every level in the organization. When their compliance requirements are met, talent is better managed, cost is reduced, and better patient and organizational outcomes are achieved. Hospitals can have adequate time to provide standardized care. The healthcare professionals will also become more efficient and empowered when their learning journey progresses with ease and at their convenience.
IPC Health, your learning partner. Let us come together to improve the quality of healthcare in India by spreading knowledge through technology and making IPC Health your learning partner.
Gentlemen, finally IPC Health is here. Thank you for that huge round of applause. And now it's imperative that we also see what the end user has to say about IPC Health. So we have a video testimonial from some of our colleagues who have been using IPC Health.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಮಂಜುಳಾ. ನಾನು ನರ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಸೂಪರ್ಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ ನೇತ್ರಾಲಯದಲ್ಲಿ 13 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. OPD, OT ಈ ಬ್ಯುಸಿ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಈಗ IPC ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಬಂದಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದು ಆ್ಯಪ್ನ ನಾವು ಮೊಬೈಲಲ್ಲೇ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅದರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ನು ಸಹ ಮೊಬೈಲಲ್ಲೇ ಸಿಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಇದೇ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡೋದೇನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಮಗೆ ಅವರು ವೀಕ್ ಇಲ್ಲ 10 ಡೇಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸಹ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು. ನಮ್ಮ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜು ಸಹ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ವರ್ಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಬಲ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜಬಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. IPC ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯೂಸ್ಫುಲ್.
Thank you. Continuing with the program, now I would request our founder and CEO Sameer Sharif, who would like to speak a few words on his vision for this product. Ladies and gentlemen, our CEO Sameer Sharif.
Thank you. Should we just take... Before I start, I want to thank Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Dr. Ashwath Narayan, all the esteemed doctors, the nurses, friends, family, and my fellow colleagues at Impelsys. Thank you very much for coming and gracing this occasion, and an important day for us as a company. And I think our goal and our vision is to make an impact. And then I think, today is 2 days after the 71st Republic Day, and I actually wanted to launch the product on Republic Day as a gift to the nation for us to figure out how we can improve healthcare in India. So I want to thank you all for coming, and I want to, there's a lot of initial customers here who took that risk. Like Dr. Sir said, took the risk, gave us a chance to actually prove ourselves that we can actually make an impact. So I'm going to get started with my presentation. We've been in technology for a long time. Oh my gosh. How do I do that? We're living in transformational times. In so many ways, technology has actually changed how we live. The internet, the commercial internet, has only been around for 25 years. But it has changed how we actually live our daily lives. Today, if you want food, you can pick up your phone and click an app, and food can be delivered to your house. If you want a taxi, click, open an app, and a taxi would come. The internet really has changed everything. It's connected devices that are, that were dead before. It has made them into life. Today, billions of devices are connected, and industries are changing. We couldn't imagine 20, 30 years ago that we could actually have a car come to you and have the car drive you without any drivers to your destination. It's unimaginable. But it is possible because of technology and the internet. In agriculture, today, there are devices that detect the quality of soil with the temperature, and it's transforming how farmers are actually farming and getting more productive yield out of their fields. All this because of the new powerful resource called data. Data changes everything. Data along with software, we can make things happen. What we do at Impelsys is knowledge. For the last 2 decades, we've been focused on content and learning. Our goal is to understand technologies around content and learning and figure out how we can help everyone learn better. We've been doing this for the last 20 years with some of the best companies in the world. For example, in healthcare, the biggest medical publisher in the world, Elsevier Science, most of the doctors here would have used Elsevier products to actually get to your degrees. We help Elsevier help medical students around the world graduate from medical college as well as achieve their life ambition. For the last 6 years, we've been working with the American Heart Association. Most of the doctors and nurses here are ACLS and BLS certified. Can you believe a company in Bangalore is the company that helps American Heart Association certify 20 million medical professionals a year? That is Impelsys. It's a phenomenal responsibility. I was in Dallas when American Heart Association created their new subsidiary called RQI. RQI is a new company that American Heart Association and Laird all put together because they're moving from instructor-led training to instructorless. So there's no instructors to get ACLS and BLS certification. And they're doing it by having the mannequins. The mannequins are IoT machines. That is connected to our software, and without any instructors, the doctors or nurses can go to the mannequin by themselves, learn how to do ACLS and BLS. I was invited for that launch, but while I was sitting in the audience there watching, I realized, as an entrepreneur with a vision, why am I there? Here is a kid from a small town called Mangalore, all the way in Dallas, amongst a lot of CEOs of some of the biggest hospitals in America. And the core of their technology is from our company. It was a real privilege, and I realized it's my responsibility. And like what Dr. Ashwath Narayan said, we need a purpose in what we do. At Impelsys, we really have a purpose. We really want to make an impact in spreading knowledge and making the world a better place by leveraging technology. We help companies like Wolters Kluwer Health, helping nurses deliver better care. So all these companies we have helped. So as we were trying to figure out what else can we do, something happened a few years ago. Denny Sunny is an employee of Impelsys, a young, vibrant professional, loved life, always smiling. 6 years ago, he left on a Friday evening from our office, working hard, went to Cochin to his hometown for a simple dental procedure. With his parents, he went to the dental office, and he never came back. He died on the dentist table. That was 6 years ago. After that, as a company, we decided to honor him because he did bring so much positive energy into our offices. Every year since then, we've honored one employee who has that positive impact, and we had an award. I didn't know what that, what that incident, what would that be for us. Few years later, I was trying to figure out how do we make an impact, leveraging our core strength of knowledge and really figuring out what's needed, leveraging our expertise in medicine. So we actually commissioned IQVIA, and we will actually have the head of IQVIA come and speak about the report. We're going to actually launch our first report, which is the skill gap report in the Indian healthcare industry today. As an investment, we are actually going to do this every year to really understand what the gaps of skill are in healthcare. That all bringing, understanding what the market is, we actually put together IPC Health. Dr. Ashwath Narayan, you asked me, are there any competitors in this market for us? Right now, there are always competitors, but we bring in 4 key elements for us to actually try to succeed in this market. The first is technology. Really, the most sophisticated technology for our end market. That is making sure that the nurses or the doctor or the ambulance worker or the security guard has access to the content, which means it's not the desktop, it's the mobile device. That's number one. Number two, trusted content. Over the last 2 decades, we've built some phenomenal relationships with some of the biggest brands in medical education. But our idea is not to bring these brands and bring it to India, because some of the things that work in the Western world does not work in India. So we're going to adapt this content and actually make it work for nurses and doctors here in India. Third is media. Really, today it's audio and video. But tomorrow it's virtual reality and augmented reality. Because the devices that you have, the phones are not really phones. These are computers. They're super powerful. Imagine a world where when a nurse or a doctor or a technician doesn't know how to do something, they can just put on their phone, on their device, go into a virtual world and actually learn how to do it. We're going to build those applications and we're ready. Finally, the fourth element is the hospital workflow. We're going to help every hospital manage their greatest asset, which is people, to really figure out how do we help them, fill the gaps of their skills, and how do we make them most productive so they can actually deliver the best service and deliver the best quality of care. With all that, we started going to market. Just in 5 months, we've got 60 hospitals signed up. It is really, really phenomenal. What does that mean? 7,500 medical professionals are on IPC Health. They are available. It's a touch of a finger. They can actually get access to amazing training and amazing content. That is making an impact. But we have just started. Our goal over the next 3 years is 2,000 hospitals. And I was so happy, Dr. Ashwath Narayan, he said, you're going to give us support. The support is not to, get hospitals. The support is to make impact. The support is to really help every nurse, every doctor, not in cities like Bangalore or Delhi. It's a small village out there where it's difficult for them to get the best content, for them to get the best training. I see a world where 500,000 users in 3 years, 500,000 users, these are doctors, nurses, technicians across the country, being able to access the latest and the best content and learning. Imagine, today we're challenged with one of the biggest epidemics, coronavirus. It's happening. How do you have a system to actually help the doctors understand and learn how to treat an epidemic like that? A platform like this can help. So I say we have a purpose as a company. And I want to thank each one of you for coming, because we do have to unite to improve the quality of healthcare delivery in India by spreading knowledge through technology. I thank you very much for attending. I want to, we've been working hard, and as the founder and CEO, there's no better privilege than leading my company. Over the last 1 year, we've worked super hard. So I want to have some of the Impelsys employees stand up. I want all of you to give a big hand of applause to our amazing product management team, to our amazing product development team, to our amazing sales, marketing, to our amazing, management for supporting me in our vision and making, an impact in the world. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Sameer. Always a pleasure listening to him. Don't you think so, guys? A thunderous round of applause for our CEO. Continuing with our program and the agenda, we have something special to announce next in our agenda today. I would request our founder, Sameer Sharif, to please come back on stage along with Phil Smithers from RCNI, that is a subsidiary of Royal College of Nursing. Request, sir, please come on stage. In the meantime, we'll also set up the stage for a signing ceremony. It's a strategic partnership announcement. On our journey to achieve better quality healthcare in India, we have collaborated with quite a few renowned international organizations. One of them is RCNI, a subsidiary of Royal College of Nursing, UK. We are glad to announce that IPC Health and RCNI will continue to explore this opportunity together with a strategic partnership. I would request our CEO, Sameer Sharif, to please present with a memento to Phil Smithers now. Thank you. And now I would request upon our Phil Smithers of RCNI to please speak a few words, please. Phil, the stage is all yours.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I would like to say that was me a long, long time ago. It just shows, what, how long I've been working in this industry, and B, I'm still smiling, so that's good. What I want to say first is thank you very much for Sameer and his team for inviting me over here today. I've travelled quite a lot around the world over the last few years, and I can honestly say that the reception and the hospitality I've received in India has been second to none. The sincerity and the quality of the support and for everything has been absolutely marvellous. This is my first trip to India, and I'm really enjoying it. Thank you. So, for those you don't know, I work for a company called the RCNI. We are a wholly owned subsidiary of the Royal College of Nursing. The Royal College of Nursing in the UK was founded over 100 years ago, and it really is a society which is there to support nurses. So we at the RCN, we are really responsible for producing the education, support, and requirements for nurses, and we've been doing that for a number of years now. And what makes us different from lots of other organisations is the content and the educational support that we actually create is created by nurses for nurses. We are very much a specialist nurse organisation. The other thing of note that I want to mention here is that we are a not-for-profit organisation. Any money that we make as a commercial organisation, we actually reinvest back into the Royal College of Nursing, and they use that funding to develop nursing not only in the UK but also globally. Our mission is very clear. We want to connect, inspire and develop nurses in the workplace. Now, we have traditionally been a UK-based organisation. In fact, about 95% of our revenues actually come from the UK. But we've identified after a bit of research that there are opportunities for our content and our educational resources that can actually travel the globe. However, we can't do that on our own because we are a UK-based organisation. So what we need to do is find international partners who can help us take that content into the international markets. Now, RCNI, and myself included, have spent a long time trying to identify a partner in India. Now, India was identified as the first country where we wanted to try our international expansion, and we understood that we needed to identify a good partner. So we've been working now with Impelsys, who actually support us for our educational resources and our decision support tools for nurses in the UK. And we've got a track record of actually working together. The great thing about working with Impelsys is that they actually share the same values as us. We're not in it just to make lots of money. We're in it to really support the nurses who are actually doing a fantastic job at the point of care in the workplace. Not only that, we've got a trusted track record. I mentioned earlier on that we work with Impelsys in the UK. That has been going on for just over 4 years with the RCNI. But as Samir mentioned earlier on, my previous job, I worked for a company called Elsevier, where we implemented an e-library system using Impelsys' support. So not only have we got a good business relationship, but also I think the personal relationships go back a lot longer than that. And I'm very proud to say that Samir and his team and myself have got a good working relation. And so together, we actually want to develop the nursing program for the nurses specifically in India, because I think it's really important that we want to improve the health of the patients and the public, and one way to do that is actually to offer the nurses more support at the point of care. The big challenge, and this is interesting, the big challenge we've got in the UK at the moment, and I think those are very similar to what you've got here, is the recruitment and the retention of nurses. Those are the two big issues there at the moment. And one of the ways that we're looking to help organisations retain their nurses is by offering them a suite of support products that can help those nurses develop themselves, and so they feel that they are getting value from the organisation they work in. Nurses in the UK, probably similar in India, are under a lot of pressure. There's not enough nurses to actually do the job they want to do. Nurses are very proud people, and they take a lot of pride in the work they do. And sometimes the lack of nurses on the ward is actually causing a bit of a problem. So that is one area that we're trying to address. We want to improve the health of patients and the public by offering nurses a better level of support. But also we want to connect and inspire nurses as well. I think it's important to actually build a network where nurses can intercommunicate with each other. So that's why we need the resources of a company like Impelsys to support us. And that's really what I'm really proud that we've been able to sign this agreement today. The compatibility of the philosophy between the Royal College of Nursing and the Impelsys, I think, is only going to end up with one thing, which is better support for nurses, and we can really work together to develop the nursing within this lovely country and help you move forward with the overall healthcare within India. So thank you very much for the invitation. It's been great seeing you. I'm going to be around all day, so if anybody wants to come up and talk to me and talk about our specific challenges we've got in the UK and how they might help you in India, I'm more than happy to do that. And I'm really looking forward to coming out and meeting some of you actually in your hospitals and in your care areas over the next couple of days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil. And now I would request Dr. Naresh Shetty, President of MS Ramaya Memorial Hospital, to come forward and say a few words on stage, please. A great round of applause for Dr. Naresh Shetty.
A very good morning, and thank you, IPC Health, for giving us this opportunity. Technology has really changed the world, and what Sharif did say that in the last 25 years, there's a humongous change that has happened. Healthcare is one of the last one which has accepted technology. And now, it's really going to be a revolution that's going to happen. I think when we talk about healthcare, so much has happened in the recent past. Number one, the first thing that came was the electronic health record, which basically ensured that we know how people treat patients. and how actually you could look after whether the system of care is same or different. Then we got the smartphone, and this smartphone made life more easier, not only for the doctors, for the patient, because now both can see what's happening to them. Now we are going to an era in the future which is talking about personalized medicine, where each patient will be treated differently depending upon his genomes. We have remote sensing, and of course, we have patients being taken care of from India to the Western world in the basically in ICU area. That's what technology all has done. And then, of course, day in and day out, we use sensors and wearable device. We're actually taking care of ourselves, and including we probably would get an alarm saying that this fellow has fallen in patient of elderly care. But where we really lacked was to ensure the skills of the people were taken care of. And healthcare had a huge deficiency of skill training, absolutely. And as the healthcare is expanding, one of the major area of distress is probably the skill of the healthcare workers. And if at all, if this is not corrected, then we're going to have a major challenge. You can build hospitals, but I guess if you do not have the right people at the right place, you're going to have a problem. And this is where I guess IPC Health is going to help us. We're really going to ensure that the healthcare workers of tomorrow are going to upgrade their skills, ensure they are right there is what is required. If we really do not go up to this challenge, then we would have lost the battle, because just technology is not going to help you. We need to have people on the battlefront fighting the war. The coronavirus is one such thing which tells you that every healthcare problem is going to be a global phenomenon, and we need to decide, India or the rest of the world, the skill of the healthcare workers need to be improved. If we don't, and if we really don't ensure the skill of our people are improved, then hospitals are just going to be one more building. Ambulance is just going to be one more vehicle. And we are just going to be a person who actually are not delivering what we should be delivering. And so I think things like this will really help us to upgrade the skill of every person in the healthcare business. And it is said that for every one doctor, there will be 7 healthcare workers that is required to ensure the quality of care and the outcome-based treatment that we are talking about is very good. And so let's fulfill the dream of ensuring that this part of the world, India, takes care of, and I hope the IPC Health is able to reach most of the people as soon as possible, not only in the major cities. I think it is to reach the last mile of this country. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shetty. Always a pleasure listening to you insights about the healthcare. Moving forward, we have a vital part of our event today, which is the market research presentation on the need of upskilling in the healthcare sector. I would request Tina Kadolia, the India head for IQVIA, to please come up on stage and give us the insights about the market research. Tina, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. So what I'm going to do today is present to you a white paper on state of skill development and training in Indian healthcare sector. This was done through a survey in which we interviewed multiple representatives from hospitals across corporate, specialized hospitals, and private hospitals. Moving to the first slide, what this talk about is the Indian hospital industry standing strong at $62 billion and continues to grow massively due to the increase in the number of doctors treating patients, increase in lifestyle diseases, and high paying capacity that we see in the private sector. Training is an integral part of this industry. quality care, safety measures, meeting accreditation standards are the key drivers for training. But at the same time, this industry is grappled with challenges such as procuring content, ensuring compliance, designing modules, and maintaining training records. Nurses play a very important role in this industry, being involved in almost all areas of functioning in an hospital, regularly trained and assessed. Therefore, training and skill development forms an essential part of the career pathway of nurses. Nurses are shortlisted and interviewed in order to ensure their skill sets and experience match with that of the position vacancy, post which they undergo the required induction training, regular trainings and assessments to upgrade their skills, which forms a critical part of career movement. However, despite the importance given to training of nurses, lack of qualified and effective trainers with low or no involvement of newer technology results in low training compliance, which is a very, very critical need gap. So, given the current need gaps and challenges encountered, online platforms can definitely be used to create a reliable, user-friendly, trackable, and convenient training modules, and thus focus on the 3 E's of skill development, that is, educate, emphasize, and enhance. So the key conclusion of this research was there is an inclination to opt for low-cost and affordable online courses to upgrade skills for career progression, and therefore an online platform that can help hospitals impart flexible training schedules leading to better compliance, providing track records, motivating trainers and training by providing learning and skill development curves and completion certifications. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tina. And ladies and gentlemen, I think all of you would be having a report with you. That's the market research report or the white paper for you to glance through. Moving forward, I think we would like to see some more video testimonials from some of the users who have been using IPC Health.
I'm Lissy John, nursing superintendent here in Ramay Medical College Hospital. We had a lot of standards and objective elements in NABH. All these standards to train these nurses by one person was very difficult. When this IPC Health app came into existence, it was very flexible since it is a digital method of learning. Even in times when they used to travel, they use this app. A lot of them are enrolled to this and they have been doing that. And we IPC Health people have come and assessed the nurses and we found that there is a lot of differences before what we were doing it in the classroom and in the IPC Health app. I really congratulate the team for bringing in such an app for the nurses because they are the backbone of the hospital and they need to be trained.
In the health sector, we usually had a classroom training all these days. But in the classroom training, we had certain issues like standardization was an issue, individual bias was an issue, and latest updates would be late to come to the classroom. So we have gradually over the period of time moved to online, digital, and app-based training modules. This is where IPC Health comes into play. The modules are online. The medical and the paramedical staff can access it 24/7, and they can do it in their free time. And these modules have an assessment in which they can improve on their whatever they have learnt, as well as the administration also can know whether they have learnt it accurately, whether they have improved on what they were earlier. I think all the hospitals and healthcare sector should go into online module, learn from this, benefit from this, and it will be useful both for the institution as well as for the hospital healthcare professionals.
Thank you. Moving forward, we also have colleagues from the media today. I would request our CEO Sameer Sharif, Phil Smithers, and Dr. Naresh Shetty to please come on stage for a Q&A session with the media. I would request my colleagues from the media to raise their hand for any queries. Sameer, Dr. Naresh Shetty, and Phil, please on stage. 2 handheld mics, please. We have our CEO, Sameer Sharif, Phil Smither from RCNI, and from MS Ramaya, Dr. Naresh Shetty. My colleagues from the media, feel free to raise your hand and ask your queries, please.
First for Phil. So Phil, can you tell us how is this collaboration going to pan out specifically for the Indian market? I know you did speak about it briefly, but if you could tell us in the Indian context.
Yes, that's a good question. We've created some learning and decision support tools which are specifically for the UK market. Part of our international strategy research was that although nursing in the UK has a certain set of process which they go through, we identified that internationally there are some changes that need to be done to the learnings and the decision support tools if we're going to be successful in taking our products internationally. So one of the reasons why we wanted to work with Impelsys is that they actually showed us how they could adapt our UK-based content for the Indian market, which is actually going to be key. And part of that is that they are able to add a better user experience for this particular market, introducing more media content, rather than just sort of bring the training more alive, but also with their technology platform and the flexibility that gives, it actually allows us to fully adapt the product for the Indian market. Having said that, if we can do it for the Indian market, there are opportunities to take that technology into other markets as well, which will again need to be adapted. And the third part on that is that once we've adapted it for the Indian market, we may well be using some of the techniques to actually adapt our product a little bit for the UK market as well. So we don't see this as just a partnership for India, we see this as potentially more of a global partnership going forward. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yes, thank you, Phil. On behalf of my colleague over here, Sameer, I have a question for you. So is the product like already live with some of the partners? How much of this is live, and what can we expect going forward?
So the product is live. It's a software as a service solution. So software as a service means that it's always on, and we're going to continuously innovate. So today it is at 60 hospitals. Just a couple of days ago, we just launched at Cloud9 in 13 of their branches across the country. So it is live, it is available, but it is what I will always say, day one in the life of the product. So we're going to create a lot more functionality, and a lot of our customer partners now are asking for a lot of functionality, and that's how we're going to innovate. We're going to create more and more feature sets based on customer feedback. That's one. Second, there's going to be more and more content. So the partnership with the Royal College of Nursing, we hope that the specific adapted content from the Royal College of Nursing will come to market by August of this year. So that's one. We are formulating India-specific ACLS and BLS certification program with the partnership with the American Heart Association. So that's going to come. So we're going to do a lot of innovation, but it's going to be continuously upgraded. It's a software as a service product, so it is live today. So all the hospitals that are here, who we are talking to, we'd love for you guys to come on board and engage and deploy the product at your hospitals.
One more question, Sameer. So is this, when you say the product is already live, is it only for the hospitals based out of Bangalore, or do you have people using it outside of Bangalore as well?
So what we've done over the last 6 months was really focus on the hospitals in Bangalore so that we can really understand and make sure we can deliver quality service. So this is the launch. We are actually launching to the rest of the country, but in 2020, we're really going to focus on South India. So again, there's a couple of things that's very important. It's not just about selling the product and letting the hospital use it. So we have our sales team that actually goes and sells the product, but we have our impact management team, and one of the testimonials, the nurse, Lizzie John, actually talked about our impact management team working with the hospitals to actually help them figure out how to maximize the effectiveness of the platform, as well as figuring out how to close some of the gaps. So the impact management team is a key part. But for the next 12 months, we're focusing on South India, which is Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Andhra Pradesh. And then in 2021, we're going to go to the rest of the country.
Thank you, Samir. Last question for Dr. Shetty. Sir, could you summarize for us the value addition you are expecting basis this platform?
I speak from the hospital perspective, number one. I think we have got a lot of staff who work with us. They come from different background and different training. They are either in an unsatisfactory mode, or they are just adequately trained, because they come from different schools. I think this is going to help them to upgrade their skills and ensure that everyone is in the same level. And I think that's the most important part of it. You understand that our nursing coming from various backgrounds, various colleges, from interlands to the city, they're not all exposed to everything that we would require them to be. And so this kind of a platform is certainly going to help. Easy to use it whenever you want them to use. And more important than that, I think it is come to stay. I mean, life in healthcare is constantly upscaling our skills as much as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Dr. Naresh Shetty. Thank you, Samir. We would like to show some more video testimonials. In the meantime, I would request if you would set the stage up for the panel discussion. Video testimonials, please.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸರಿತಾ ಅಂತ. ನಾನು ನಾರಾಯಣ ನೇತ್ರಾಲಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ 11 ಇಯರ್ಸಿಂದ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಈಗ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ 1 ಇಯರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲಲ್ಲಿ IPC ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಆ್ಯಪ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ತುಂಬ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೂ ನಿಮಗೆ ವಿವರಣೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋಡ್ ಬ್ಲೂ, ಕೋಡ್ ರೆಡ್, ಕೋಡ್ ಪಿಂಕ್, ಡಿಸಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೂ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಮರ್ತು ಹೋದ್ರೆ ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಅದನ್ನೇ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡುವಂತ ಅವಕಾಶನೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸಚ್ ಎ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ಆ್ಯಪ್ IPC ಹೆಲ್ತ್.
Now I would request upon our esteemed panelists to please come on stage. Starting from our moderator for today's session, Dr. Uma Nambiar, Executive Director at Jim Care Hospital, Kannur, Kerala. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Dr. Uma Nambiar. I think she must have just stepped out. I would request Ms. Vijay Agarwal, Group Medical Director at Motherhood Hospitals. Uma Nambiar is here. Ma'am, please, on stage, please. CEO of Cloud9 Group of Hospital, Ravi Ganesh Venkatraman. Farad Yanepoya, Honorable Pro-Chancellor and Director Finance at Yanepoya University. Faisal E. Kotikolan, founder and chairman at KEF Holdings. And of course, Phil Smithers, Global Sales and Marketing Head, RCNI. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for my panelists here. And now we're going to have a riveting discussion on how technology can transform skill development and quality of care in the Indian health sector. Over to my esteemed panelists. Yeah.
Hi, so we're going to, we've had a very interesting morning, and I congratulate Sameer and team for this wonderful day and starting really a new chapter in the evolving space of digital technology in the healthcare ecosystem. And you cover almost the entire ecosystem, not just the training and skill building. And so having heard a lot of senior healthcare leaders talk about the importance of digital technology in healthcare, I'm going to shoot a couple of questions at the second rung of leaders that are sitting here, who I think will be able to address us. I mean, we've all who worked in the industry know that there are huge gaps in our skill sets in healthcare, which we all need to address. So I'm going to start in the order that they're sitting here. And I'm going to start with Ravi. I want all of them to keep their answers short so that if possible, if we have time, I'm going to have the audience ask you a question or two. So Ravi, I want you, you as a CEO of Cloud9, and I'm sure you've been in the industry, you've seen what our gaps are. I want you to tell me whether this is digital technology in healthcare. How would you say that this is not a hype, and is this a disruptor that you think can address the gaps that we feel today there are?
So, let me start off first with what's happening to the customer. We in Cloud9, most of our customers are below the age of 30. Now, this particular millennial was virtually born with the smartphone in the hand. So, we all grew up saying that pen is mightier than the sword, but, smartphone is mightier than the pen. And that accompanied by a digital pen is really mighty. And that's the way the customer is kind of, living their life. Their universe connectivity starts and ends with the phone. Everything in their life is around this. Now, therefore, if healthcare does not get digitized, I think, it's a shock. It's not even a choice really in today's world. So I guess it's not a fad. It is something which we have to not learn, but we have to kind of lead. I guess healthcare has been a little behind a lot of other industries in actually catching up on digital, but digital is the way to go. The second question which you asked me is that it's really going to help. I guess what we are in this country facing is a serious supply bottleneck. We don't have enough amount of capacity or professionals available, but the demand is huge. And that's exactly where digital comes in, because digital manages to kind of help us leapfrog and take the limited access into a very, very large access. And I think, therefore, digital is the way to go, and India would possibly lead some of the developments here because of our own constraints. So we will not really follow the life cycle curve of the West. We will possibly follow a life cycle of actually jumping through a couple of generations. And that's the way I see digital.
Yeah, I think we should define the life cycles, and probably India should redefine the life cycles as they are because of the lead that we have in the technology space per se. So Faisal, for most of you who don't know, probably you have built the first hospital from prefabricated material completely. I mean, it's his first prefab hospital in the whole country, and I think he will lead with, building a few more. So if you haven't seen it, you need to see it, okay? So they built a new hospital, and for anybody starting a new hospital, the biggest challenge is to get the right resources, to get the manpower that you need. And I want to address this question to him because today we've gone past that conventional manpower definition of, healthcare means doctor, nurse, and technician. There are a whole lot of manpower, and from what Dr. Shetty said in the morning, that there is 1:7, I mean 1 physician to 7 other healthcare workers. So in the 7 other healthcare workers, there is a nurse and a technician, and there are 4 more. So I want you to address this question of how did you source those people, if you could find some. What are the gaps that you felt that there were and you couldn't find the manpower for such works, and what is the wire media that you adopted, and what are you looking forward to in the future?
First, let me congratulate Impelsys team for launching today's wonderful product. Many people don't know my background or hospital because I'm not been living in India for the last 25 years. The reason I came back is to really contribute in 2 sectors. One is healthcare, other one is on the public education. How did we went about it? As I worked around 4 years planning to build this hospital in Calicut, my hometown. First thing was I told my clinical team it has to be paperless. That means every person who works in the hospital has to use digital technology. So initially everybody said it's impossible, it's India. You lived abroad and it's not possible. I said, why not? It's possible. It's not possible. So we did that, the top-down approach from the day one. Today I'm proud to say it's 2 years up and running. It's completely paperless. We don't use any paper at all. And moreover, the challenges, what we have seen is how to train the doctors. Because there are many doctors who are sitting here, and they had a problem because of the demand, as Mr. Ravi said, is too much in India, supply-demand gap. He said, no, we'll be wasting our time, typing the information into the system. So I said, doctors above 50, I can understand, I'll give you a few assistants. But people who are less than 50, we trained them. So we started training these doctors before we opened the hospital. So I think the training program started almost 18 months ago, starting from the training of doctors, nurses, and the other paramedic staff. And I think it's all possible in India, and I'm very happy today IPC Health is launched. The challenge here is it has to be from the top. From the board level, we should make it compulsory because the world is changing so fast. And moreover, the healthcare industry is going through a rapid change. Introduction of robotics and artificial intelligence. And if you don't implement these technologies from the day one, it's very difficult to catch up. Today, our retention rates are high. The reason is because the platform is so strong. We have the EMR and HIS and all system integrated together. And this training is also planned in the beginning itself. So every employee in a particular month has to take a few hours of training during the working hours. Because if you give an option for outside work hours, because they're very tired, because looking after human beings is the toughest job you can ever imagine. So they go back and they wanted to go back to their families. And I think what we have done is everything we said within the required number of hours they're working, this training has to happen. So I think there were challenges, but at the same time, all I wanted to tell you, the professionals over here, it is possible. And at Maitra, we are very happy that we stuck to the implementation of technology from the day one.
Thank you so much. And more number of paperless hospitals, or at least even though partial paperless, are in south of India than in the north. I worked across the country, so I can tell you that. And I congratulate you on taking this lead, because this is one of the toughest things to do. And being a physician myself, I know, physicians, everybody knows that the doctors are the last to adopt to technology, but once they adopt, they take to it like fish to water. So that's the advantages you have. So congratulations once again.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask Vijay this question. She's the CEO for Motherhood, our medical director for Motherhood. And so you've been in the administration side of the hospitals for the last quite a few years, right? 20 plus years. You've seen workforce not wanting to change, you not wanting to upgrade skills, and you've also faced challenges in trying to upgrade workforce. So I wanted to really tell us whether, do you feel that skilling people or upgrading skills of people, what are the challenges that you feel have you faced in the last 20 years, and have you seen the impact of technology making life easier for you or making it more difficult for you?
First, is it working? See, knowledge is ever evolving. It doesn't end with your, college education. Once you graduate and come out of college and, you are fully skilled and now you can do whatever you want, especially in health sciences. It's like every day new things come up, and it's very important for each one of us to upgrade ourselves, to, be aware about the latest things in healthcare, because we deal with life and death. Okay, any act by a doctor or a nurse can actually give a patient a life or can take away the life. So any mistake is unforgivable as far as a doctor or a nurse is concerned. So updating your knowledge is very important, and technology no doubt helps people, to upgrade themselves, and there are endless ways technology can help. Now I can think of three, four ways. One is it increases the reach. So classroom-based training, it has a limitation. You can train only limited number of people. When it is technology-based, it becomes convenient. It is available anywhere, at your ease, at your convenient time. So it increases the reach. Second thing, it reduces the cost. So classroom-based trainings are more costly, and when you have classroom-based trainings, the quality of the training is difficult to control, and once you digitize it, the quality can be controlled. Third thing, what we can have is we can standardize the training. Across country or across globe, we can have a person trained with so much of years of experience working in this particular, say, ICU, labor room or wherever, should have this skill set and should have this many number of hours of training in these particular processes, and should be able to do these particular procedures. All this is possible only if you have some digital platform to do all this.
Yeah, and also you have the reach to the world's best teachers. You have the teachers, whom you cannot otherwise conventionally reach.
Yeah.
You would have them brought to you at your system.
Yeah, that's again, that's a very important point. You can definitely, reach out to the best universities and best teachers. And if you see these days, some of the digital programs, sitting at home, you can learn something from a teacher in Harvard. So all these things definitely help people train better.
Do you find challenges in terms of the millennials versus the non-millennials when you have to, tell them about your technology platforms?
I think his answer is yes and no both. See, everybody wants to upgrade himself as far as the technology helps that person to perform better, to improve his employability. If you give somebody, like for example, I'm also a doctor. So if you want somebody to work in a paperless system, but the person who is doing it doesn't know how it benefits me. It might benefit my organization or some administrator to keep the record better, but how it benefits me, why should I go paperless, spend time in typing, and technology also, like those people who have never learned all these things, at the age of 50, you want them to learn all these things to make someone else's life convenient. So wherever I feel doctors are very, very techno-savvy, if it helps them or it helps their patient care. So you see doctors using robots in surgeries, have the most difficult equipments, they handle all these in OTs because they see value in it. So if like everything which comes with a value add to the user will definitely be adopted.
also commercially if it helps. Okay. So Phil, thank you for coming here, and I hope you have a good stay in India, so that you are motivated to come again and again. Right? So Phil has been, he's working with a company that is almost 100 years old.
That's right.
Yeah. He's not 100 years old. His company is 100 years old.
Well, that might look it.
Yes. So I want you to quickly sort of telescope for us the last 100 years of how your company has evolved and changed with the advent of technology, and how do you find it has improved the company's prospects and reach?
Yeah, certainly. So 100 years ago, the Royal College of Nursing was set up as a trade union to support nurses in the UK. And then it got its Royal Charter a few years later. Now, part of the Royal Charter was that it had two elements to the business. It had the trade union side of the business, and then it had the Royal College part of it. Now, the Royal College is all about the education and development of nurses. So that all started off a number of years ago. And what the way that the Royal College used to interact with the nurses was on an individual basis. So it found that bringing a community together of nurses within the Royal College, and then they would actually interact with the nurses on an individual basis. The responsibility for CPD, continual professional development, was actually the responsibility of the individual nurse. They had to go through a revalidation exercise every 3 years, so they had to gain points by doing training and development to actually move on and progress within the nursing profession. Now, what happened about 10 years ago is that it was identified that, because what I mentioned earlier on is that one of the big challenges we had in the UK especially was actually the recruitment and retention of nurses. And one way that the employers of nurses identified that they could support their nurses more effectively was actually to supply them with these educational and support tools and purchase them on their behalf, and then hand out those access to those. Now, the way to do that effectively was not to do it on an individual basis by having individual training courses. We had to roll out these development and educational tools in an electronic format. And across the whole industry, across the whole media industry, there's been this sort of migration or transition from print or face-to-face type of activity into online. And the best way to actually distribute these educational resources was via online. So we had to identify a partner in the UK who could help us deliver that, and that's when we started working with Impelsys. We did try and work with a number of organisations before that, but that didn't work out effectively. So we actually settled on working with Impelsys. So they've been delivering our education and support tools and our decision support tools in the UK for some time. Now, the other benefit we've had about delivering that is that the next stage on that, as I mentioned earlier on, part of our mission is to actually connect to nurses as well. One way we're able to do that across our platforms is to actually deliver news to the nurses on a daily basis. So we actually have a web-based news interaction tool that they can actually use. Now, this proves really, really important, because the nurses who've obviously got their own personal challenges, etc., can communicate with other nurses who it's fair to say have the similar challenges in other parts of the UK, and that is really, really important. They're feeling part of a community, and the only way to do that effectively is not sending out paper-based newsletters on a regular basis. Is actually bringing the population of nurses online. Now, the other element we've had is that we realised that the demographics of nurses in the UK. There's quite a large proportion of the nurses who are in my demographics. We are the 50 to 65 year olds. Their initial reaction towards technology was, I'm a bit scared of that. So we had to go through quite a lot of education and teaching people how to actually use these tools. And what's really important is actually having technology, but making it really simple to use. And the other element of it is that when nurses are actually doing their development, and it's similar to what you were saying earlier on, it's not as if they go home in the evening and they've got 3 hours to dedicate to doing their own personal development, etc. They might have on their way home, they might have half an hour here or an hour there or in their lunch break to actually do it. So we need to be able to break down the training into usable chunks, which might be half hour, 30 minutes, and we've got apps now based on the phone using the support of Impelsys to actually deliver that, and that's proving really, really valuable. And you can just see the growth of the access of these online tools by nurses on a month basis. It's now actually growing exponentially, and we're just hoping that we can develop that same technology here, working with Impelsys to actually deliver that to the Indian marketplace. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. So I want to ask you one more question on your partnership with Impelsys. So of course, it will help you improve your reach. That's your side of the business. Will it improve the reach of the nurses here, not just to read what you write, but also to provide content? Because the content writers or the good nurses, they're not divided by developed and the developing and the third world countries. The individual is a smart individual no matter where on the globe is. Do you think that you will get more smart content because of improve in the number of content writers that you have using this platform?
Yeah, good question. I really hope so. What we've been doing in the UK is really encouraging nurses who are actually engaged on our platform to actually start writing articles that we can actually put in, whether that be a clinical article or whether it be an experiential article. We do encourage people to actually contribute back into that as well. So once you build that online community and we are connecting the nurses together, one thing that we're very keen on doing is encouraging nurses to actually share their experiences and their knowledge, not only to other nurses within India, but it'd be really interesting to share those experiences on a more global basis as well, because I'm sure some of the challenges we have in the UK will be relevant very relevant here in India, but I'm also as sure that some of the experiences and knowledge you've got here in India will be very relevant to the UK as well. So let's break down some of these international boundaries. It is the International Year of the Nurse, so let's try and connect nurses together internationally as well.
Yeah, I think that's a project you need to take with Impulse.
Okay, I'll take it up personally with you. Thank you.
Yeah. So Farhad, you were probably the youngest person here, or at least he maintains himself so well that he looks the youngest. So okay. He has the largest chunk of the healthcare ecosystem amongst all of us, because you're on the demand as well as the supply side. So I want you to tell us, on the supply side, how have you improved? I mean, your supply side is about 20 years old, and
more than that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So about 20 to 30 years on both. So will you tell us that, okay, from the gaps that you felt in your own hospital in the healthcare delivery system, how did you change things in your college? And how have you evolved over the last 30 years to do this? And what would people learn from you on that?
Yeah, see, if you understand education, so let's start with the education side. So the Indian education system per se for healthcare professionals, I would rate it one of the best, because the advantage we have is live patients that you don't find anywhere else in the world. So today our nurses by the second year, third year, they get to actually interact and work with live patients, which I don't think happens anywhere else in the world. For that matter, even the doctors undergoing training today are allowed to interact with live patients in the hospitals, and that's a blessing in disguise. Any sort of simulation or any other artificial intelligence that comes in does not replace a live patient. So from the skill side of things, there's no gap, and things are improving. The regulatory bodies are bringing in controls where we make sure that the skill side of our students are outstanding. Now, where we lack, where we fall short of things, where we fall short is the communication, is the use of technology, and is the patient interaction. And that's where I think we need to really work hard, because if you understand the input of people who come into healthcare, you know, the nursing, the support services. These are the people who don't get into other kinds of jobs. So most of the people are maybe even non-conversant in English and things like that. So one of the biggest challenges for us is communication skills and use of technology. And until recently now, because of accreditation and other things and labor rights, we had our nurses working from 10 to 12 hours. It's only now that our nurses work 8 hours a day. Otherwise, we were pushed to make them work 10 to 12 hours. They did not have enough rest. They had to manage more patients than they could ever imagine. And of course, they were one of the most overworked. And let us not discuss about the number of hours our doctors work, because I think you know, they work through midnight also. So that's how the Indian healthcare system works, because of the demand side. So of course, then comes in technology. So where does all this come up? So are you going to tell a doctor in between treating his 300 OP, are you going to tell him you have to feed these things online? Or are you going to tell the nurse that, you know, better enter what medicine you've given at what time on earth? So these are the challenges that we face. And so when are you going to give them the opportunity to, first of all, get trained? Even if they are the current lot, are they going to be able to do it? Another challenge that we face, I call Mangalore small town. We come from small town Mangalore. What is the bandwidth or connectivity today we have in our cities? Is it reliable? So our entire HIS is connected, and one day you have somebody digging the road and entire servers and networks are down. And then what happens? So the entire healthcare system fails. So these are the challenges that we have to face. So there are a lot of things that we have to overcome, and these are things that we are also trying to work. And what today, another challenge we face is everybody who comes into the Indian healthcare education system, 70% are working to go to UK, to US, or to some other country because the opportunities are better, the lifestyle is better, you know, the kind of living, you know, they have better living opportunities there. So the nurses today are here only as a launch pad. So they come here, they get the best training, they're taken care of so well. You know, we take care of them so that they stay with us. But beyond 3 years, they just disappear because they write the OCTs, they write the OETs, and they write all the exams that are available, and they're out there in UK because they are very well trained and everybody in the world wants them. So these are the challenges that we face. And of course, involving technology, bringing in technology enhances the skills and the training needs that, and actually I would say it supplements what we do, because there's no alternative to having a real patient, to face-to-face training. So you know, we've been implementing IPC Health in a couple of our hospitals, and what we find is, one is the time that they need to use this is a challenge. The other is we try to incentivize the use, but we also make sure that we supplement it. This is a supplemental tool to what we already do as a training. So that's what I feel coming from both sides.
Yeah, I think providing manpower to the rest of the world is not a bad thing at all. You are the training grounds, and
so
I think
you know,
you are the resource pool.
objective of starting an institution was to support our own systems, or to support the systems around. But because that's what it is. See, it's all about Make in India, right? So you need to strengthen what we have, but the best of the lot go out.
Yeah, Make in India for the world, and I'm sure IPC's Health will help your trained manpower to become global citizens faster than what they do now. So be ready for a 2-year instead of a 3-year. Right? So that's actually good, because you will become very popular as, you know, trained. One question which is common to all of you, And then if there is any time left, and I don't know how much time we have left to the public, is how do you, I mean, now that, I don't know how many of you are working in hospitals that have already been accredited or are undergoing accreditation process or will do so. In any case, I want you to talk about a training tool which will help in accreditation. How do you think that that helps? Technology-based platform.
So roughly 50% of my hospitals are already accredited, and the balance are going through the entire NABH accreditation process. And what we find is that using technology actually helps us share the kind of learnings of those who have gone through the journey and helps accelerate the journey for the rest of them. The other bit is that you're able to cascade information very, very fast. I think the programs which are there on the entire IPC setup is absolutely good. And it's something which the whole system is able to kind of grab fast and come to speed at a very rapid pace. Given the fact that we alluded to it, which is the churn in the entire industry, the important part is to kind of bring all newcomers to the same kind of speed very fast, and that's where technology will help.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I'd just like to share some of our experiences. Is that where this online learning and development has actually helped is that what's quite important is on the back end of the system you can pull quite a lot of data out of that. And our experiences in the UK is that the data that you can pull out of the system can actually identify the development needs of the nurses, and so therefore additional learning resources can be actually offered, etc. So when nurses are going up for their appraisals and reviews, etc., there is some data there to actually support and saying, okay, well, this is the areas that you're really strong in. These are the areas that probably need a bit of work on. So it helps the nursing directors identify through their hospital where they've got some developmental, if I can say the word out, the development needs of their entire people, and they can address that early.
We are undergoing NABH and nursing excellence both, and almost all our hospitals are NABH accredited, and 80% of our hospitals are nursing excellence accredited. See, if you see the person who is end user, who will be actually implementing that particular process or the objective element you are checking, is in 70% of the things the end user is a nurse. So if you have a training module which is digitized and a nurse can learn it using her phone, that makes her life very convenient. If those people are well trained, your system automatically works. You don't need to have a training. Like in our system, we have a classroom training. We call it chapter reading. So it is done when a hospital decides to apply for an accreditation. We collect our staff, and chapter reading sessions are done in similar to a classroom. One person reads the chapter and make them understand what does it mean, how are you going to do it. So this digital platform can totally replace that. So it saves a lot of time, it increases efficiency, it definitely fast paces the accreditation process.
Yeah, for example, so we got the accreditation of NABH, I think less than 2 years in operation, because of the digitization mode we went in the beginning. And I think the challenge also is the quality data. We need to make this data interesting for people to get trained faster. I think people are relatively busy in the hospitals. So I think that's something which we found, it is very mundane, boring for them. We need to make it more interesting, this data is. And I think, yeah, today, this is the life, correct? We are in the world of digital technology, and we have no other choice other than implement it. Yeah, so I think if you implement it earlier, the better.
Yeah. So the use of digital is no longer an option. It is absolutely a must. So is there a question from the audience?
I have just something to add on, Dr. Uma. So we run accredited hospitals as well. So we have these sessions, as ma'am says, but one of the challenges we keep training and retraining, but one of the challenges is assessments. And what we've noticed with the IPC handheld, the platform, is that they have assessments involved. And that's a very important tool because there's no other measure that comes out of it. Of course, it's again theoretical. So then we need another measure of what is the step taken, you know, how do you climb the ladder? So where do you reach excellence? So that's the challenge that we continually face. So, you know, this is one of them, and the assessment in the tool, the reading material. Of course, I do hope that they go home and do spend some time or sit, you know, because most of the people, you know, today you walk into an hospital and everybody is on the handheld. We don't know whether they are looking at an image on the WhatsApp or looking at some other messages. But, you know, today is the world of handheld, so we just hope it's for the best.
Firewall the other non-wanted elements out. So any question from the audience? Yes.
Sorry, I'm Dr. Narendranath. The discussion is very interesting. One question for, I think, Chris also is, I think this tool will definitely enhance our upskilling and also the quality. But the question is, will they have impact on the number of nurses required in an organization?
Any of you want to take the question?
So this tool definitely helps in upscaling of the nurses. But will it help in the reducing the numbers or increasing the number of nurses in organization? Because we have standard required for an hospital to have that number of nurses. But when you are, where I'm coming from is the owners which wants to buy this tool will always look on return on investment. They always think I am investing in a tool, whether it reduces my cost of operation. That is because the survival of the smaller and mid-sized hospitals is a big question in this country.
Yeah.
So it's about quality versus quantity.
Quantity,
and
yes.
I think that's the question.
Yeah, that's no, it's a good question. Is this working? You can hear me? Yeah. Okay. So when we've been talking to organisations, obviously we're trying to create what we call a value proposition for them, and part of that value proposition for whether they want to make the investment in this type of technology is that, you know, I mentioned earlier on that the challenges are recruitment and retention. So and what we've identified is that because there is a nursing community now and they're talking to each other, hospitals or organisations that actually offer training resources to nurses tend to retain the nurses longer. So you can actually do some modelling and say, okay, what is the cost of actually retaining the nurse for, you know, an additional 3 years, 2 years, etc. We can do a bit of analysis on that. The other element of that, if you're retaining more nurses, then you don't need to recruit as many, and you don't need to recruit as often. And we all know that there is quite a cost associated with recruitment. It's not just the placing the advert, doing the interviews, but then you've got the onboarding, then you've got to kit them out, and then you've got to make sure they have all the relative skills, etc. So what we found is that, and this is quite a general thing, that organisations that have actually invested in our training and development and decision support tools, they are actually seeing improved retention rates within their organisation, which means that they don't have to spend as much on the recruitment of getting on new nurses. Now they're still trying to drive to actually recruit more nurses because there is a recruitment problem, but what they're looking to do is recruit more nurses to actually incrementally add the number of nurses they have in the organisation, rather than having to recruit to replace the ones that have actually left. So the net effect is that they can actually increase the population of the nurses. So does that answer your question? Oh, splendid.
Yeah. So
also, a good training module will bring in efficiency, and better you're efficient, I think the patients are more happier. So obviously the return on investment is justified.
Yeah, it actually frees up the nurses more time to do actual nursing than filling up papers. And that actually gives, that's how you improve the quality of patient care. So it's not about the absolute 1:1, what is the number you're providing, but I think it's a number of a well-trained, qualified nurse who's efficient and spends more time with the patient. And I think that's the key. Anybody else? one more question from the audience? No? So I think I thank all the panelists and for the interesting session. And I again congratulate Samir and Impelsys team. Being a leader in the field has certain challenges, and one of them is the rough road that you have to ride alone. Very soon there will be a lot of people, but I think it takes time to reach that critical mass, and I hope Samir and team, you reach the critical mass sooner than later and have a huge impact in the country, because we really need a huge help. And I think, as we said, I think, and all the panelists agreed, that use of technology is a given. It is how soon that the people will adopt to it and adapt it. So congratulations to the team once again, and thank you all the panelists once again.
Thank you. I request our COO Vinod Kumar to kind of please give a token of our appreciation to all the panelists, please. Vinod Kumar on stage, please. Phil? In the meantime, I would also request the stage team to clear the stage. I would first request our excellent moderator and orator, Dr. Uma Nambiar. Thank you very much, ma'am. I would request Ms. Vijay Agarwal, Group Medical Director at Motherhood Hospitals. Ravi Ganesh, CEO at Cloud9. Farad Yanepoya. Faisal from KEF Holdings. And last but not the least, Phil Smithers from RCNI. For a photo of all my panelists on the front, please. Thank you, Vinod. Thank you to all the panelists. Continuing with the last segment of our day today. IPC Health's mission is to enable hospitals improve their healthcare outcomes through skill development and compliance training. Initially, 4 medical institutions had partnered with us to help navigate towards this mission. We are honored to present them tokens of our gratitude today. I would request our CEO Samir Sharif to please come on stage once again and do the honors. I would request Dr. Major Narendranath, COO of Narayana Nethralaya, to please come on stage, please. Sir, on stage, please. Thank you, Dr. Major Narendranath. Next, I would request Dr. Harish from Ramaya Medical College Hospital. Please come on stage. Dr. Harish, please. Ladies and gentlemen, a great round of applause for Dr. Harish. I would request Dr. Sharanu Patil, CEO of Sparsh Hospital. If he's not present, I would request his colleagues or team members to please come on stage on his behalf to collect the award. I would also now request Mohammad Farad Yanepoya to please come on stage. One of our first sign-ups which we had. A great round of applause for Sameer and Farad, please. Sameer, we would request you to be please on stage. We have a few round of felicitations still. That would be with Dr. Umashankar Raju. Do we have Umashankar Raju? I would continue. Dr. Narendranath. A huge round of applause for Dr. Narendranath.
It's really important.
Dr. Major Madhu. Dr. Narendra Shetty, please. Ajmal Habib, please. On behalf of Ajmal Habib, Farhan Habib, ma'am, please on stage, please. I would request Shashikala to please be on stage. We'll continue. Iftikhar Ali. Our colleague, ex-colleague Pandit. I would request Rizwan Yanepoya on stage, please. I would request on behalf of Rizwan Yanepoya if Ms. Fatima can come on stage, please. I would request Dr. Nagendra Swami, please. Dr. Manjunath. And our favorite, Sister Lissy John, please. I would request Dr. Arun Sitaram, please. Thank you so much to all our audience, and I would request Dr. Renu Rawat to please be on stage for the vote of thanks. Thank you, Sameer.
On behalf of Impelsys, I would like to thank all our distinguished guests for taking out time from the busy schedule and gracing this occasion. The journey so far, from the time when we conceptualized IPC Health and started work, till the launch today, has been an incredible journey. And this would not have been complete without the support, your support. I take this opportunity to thank all our users for choosing us as their learning partner. And we hope that you'll keep encouraging us and be a part of our vision of spreading knowledge through technology. So I would now request all our guests to join us for lunch and networking session. Thank you.